Hello everyone and most welcome to 1799 of the Heidegger series. We will today read from Heather Macumber's article, The Threat of Empire, Monstrous Hybridity in Revelation 13. And we left off at page 125. Last time we looked into how concepts, beliefs, doing, acts of faith always have to be grounded in an activity, in a doing. It could be liturgy, it could be icons, it could be the hymns, but it is also important. And why not use Luke Davis' description of secondary and primary meaning? The blood of Christ as is given to us in communion is as a secondary meaning the blood of Christ, the wine. None of the two aspects, which is very hard to handle for people like Hitchens and Daniel Dennett and Dawkins, none of the meanings, as Kalle so good pointed out, is essential or is per se. They both matter. They are part of what comes out of the superposition, the openness. And this is hidden in ordinary language, in ordinary parlance. We are not that aware of this. Luke Davis and Johnston and Wittgenstein, of course, were here really helpful to bring out all the glorious, I would say, complexities. We also mentioned the beast, how working as a hybrid shows both, I would say, the tendency to oversimplify, only see a particle or only a rabbit. The monosemic twist of reality, which is, as is often called, that closes up a lot of the interesting and fantastic aspects of reality. The richness of the inner and the fantastic glory of the outer, the exterior. And good old Stephen M. Rosen, of course, not to be forgotten. He shows that when inner is participating, the outer also come to work. This is very aptly comparable to a concept, both being a concept and how we act out the concept. None of them is less important and none of them come before the other or has a higher degree of reality. And if we get stuck in just a rabbit, we join with the serpent and the beast and the monsters. Then we make reality into a hybridity. And all of its truth will be hidden from us. And I'll continue to read from the article, the second paragraph on page 125. The image of the beast, shapeshifter. Finally, I propose the presence of a fourth monster in Revelation 13. That is the image of the beast created first by people, but given life by the beast from the earth. Scholars often overlook the monstrous qualities of the image in their attempts to place its historical and social significance in the Roman imperial cult. Whether or not this correlates to ancient practices of magic, on the narrative level, it is truly terrifying that the beast from the earth has the ability to reproduce and animate other monstrous beings. This is an ability reserved for divine beings that have the power to create, indeed, the language employed of giving it breath or spirit, pneuma, is a parody of God's own life-giving ability. Moreover, it is not clear in the text how much power the image possesses. Revelation 3:15 states, "And it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast could even speak, and cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be killed." According to David Orn, the subject of "he might cause" is not clear and is parallel to "he might speak" in the same verse. thus possibly implying that the subject is the image rather than the second beast. If this is the case, the image is not just an animated statue, but one which holds as much threat as the previous beasts, or at least is the vehicle through which the beast act. Monster theory is particularly helpful to use when analyzing the function of this final monster in Revelation 13. Monsters are truly terrifying because they are not static entities, but shift and change over time. In the case of John's monsters, they are fluid beings recreated from earlier models drawn from the ancient world and the Hebrew Bible. This last beast represents a boundary for John and his community, as this created image is a tangible symbol of the masses' devotion to something other than God. Specifically, it embodies the prevalence of the imperial cult in the ordinary lives of the people, especially concerning financial transactions. Moreover, it is a symbol created not by the dragon or the beasts, but by the people themselves, and given life by the beast. Humanity is now implicated in this creation of monstrosity that blurs the boundaries between the animate and inanimate. As this statue has the power not only to speak, but also to persuade. Finally, and most disturbingly, one should note that there is no overt destruction or punishment of the image. The beast, the kings of the earth, with their armies, and the false prophet are destroyed, along with the dragon who is thrown into the pit. Nevertheless, of the image of the beast, nothing is recorded, and it appears to escape John's notice. Conflating images, punishing the monsters. In his work on monsters in Ezekiel, Safwat Marzouk emphasizes that the punishment and destruction of the monster's body becomes a message for the larger community, affirming their boundaries, especially those of purity. Building on the work of Foucault, he states, punishment was treated as a spectacle intending to establish order by spreading horror. Those who suffer punishment are treated as other and different. And permanently marked with disgrace. This is a helpful framework to apply towards the punishment of the monstrous bodies in Revelation. Christopher A. Frilingus has also argued that John's use of spectacle engages the audience in imperial viewing and allows John to show that Rome is other and outcast rather than desirable for his community. A prominent spectacle for the audience of Revelation is the expelling and destruction of the dragon, beasts, and followers. In Revelation 17 and 18, John watches a series of judgments that begin to undo the chaos perpetuated by the dragon and the beasts. Marzouk notes that the destruction of the monster enables the society to restore its borders and reinstates its identity as the monster is dispatched. Thus, one finds that the beasts who once threatened the center are now relegated to the periphery as they are thrown into the abyss or into the lake of fire. John is re-establishing cosmic boundaries that were undone by the great red dragon in Revelation 12. And here I would put a point. I would actually make a very, very short quote here, because I found something most definitely interesting. Revelation 12 has to be the last. Now we are on page 127. We do see here, we spoke just earlier about Stephen M. Rosen and the Klein bottle. And here we also see the inner and the outer. In the just the quote, thus one finds that the beasts who once threaten the center, the faithful, are now relegated to the periphery as they are thrown into the abyss or into the lake of fire. It is John who is reestablishing cosmic boundaries that were undone. We know at this time it was the dominance of the right hemisphere. And then we have the Klein bottle. And it means that the inner is constantly reinforcing the outer and vice versa. It's a coercive movement. And it's very similar to the inner as it's normally taken and the exterior. So the inner could be the word and the significance could be the outer. But in reality, they are interwoven or folded in. Aletheia and theia. A constant enfoldment. And this is strengthening the faithful. It is not making them weaker. So we be very careful to interpret it, the whole thing, as we usually do from the Western hemisphere, Western brain, the left brain. Western and left has the same origin, and these texts are always interpreted with the left hemisphere. Then you get stranded in the either or. A very short comment, dear colleague Kalle.
No, I will say my comment to later.
Okay.
Okay. Let's meet later, and the next lecture we have to also celebrate number 800.
It will be a celebration. Yes.
Don't forget your bottle.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's drink out of the Klein bottle. Thank you very much, Kalle Lundahl.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for listening in, and have a very nice morning, day or afternoon, wherever you are. Bye-bye for now.